Hey everybody, this is Dark Guardsman. We're back with another video for the Voltz Classic Let's Play here. This will be episode 4, and we're going to kind of first cover a little bit of changes. One, we're going to do the music audio at 12%. If this sounds good, just kind of comment to see if it's working for you guys or not. I noticed the last few videos that I was editing were just a tad bit loud on the music, specifically some of the more vibrant songs were pretty loud and were almost overcoming speaking volume. Anyways, for the actual changes, since it's been a couple of days actually since I've recorded one of these, I know I'm going to upload these, they're almost going to be uploaded in succession of each other, but there are gaps between recording. So with this gap, I've actually worked on my little farm collector here. So we now have a grinder down here actually grinding the mobs instead of the spikes. The spike traps were working, we were getting items and stuff, the items were being deposited down here, so we were getting some drops. I still haven't really improved the drop rate of the tower, so the tower is still giving us pitiful items, but now we're at least collecting it a little better. So we're actually getting collected items in here which are going over here and being stored. It's not a huge amount of items since I started implementing it, but it is at least giving us a slightly better drop rate, and we are collecting a ton of mob essence. So the plan for this, which I'll explain a little bit later if I don't accidentally skim over it, is we're actually going to be using this mob essence for something in another project here later, but we're not going to talk about that. Of course, I also got power running down here. Not a huge amount of decoration really went down into here, because this is not really what I've been working on. And we're in creative mode again, just simply because I was AFKing next to the tower. As soon as we get to the top of here, I'm going to flip out of it. One of those things I really should do before the video is, but oh well. So, yeah, I did remove a little bit of sheep here. We're probably going to move the sheep pens at some point. It's one of the projects I'm planning on doing. Probably going to finish the tower. But the things that I've actually have changed is, A, we have a bigger farm, so I went ahead and worked on this. We got the small farms done. I did try to record this, but it turns out I didn't actually click the record button, so I was pretty much talking to my screen the entire time. One of those facepalm moments, because once you've done it, you really can't destroy everything and try again. There's no real repeats for these Let's Plays. But we did, or at least I did build this. We actually got it going. I switched these over to carrots. I used some micro blocks and cleaned up a little bit here. I also switched my chicken farm over to collecting essence as well. It's not actually doing as well as the mob farm is, but it is giving us more essence. And we're now actually getting some items back from this as well, which is kind of nice because we could use the feathers for various things like bait, and we actually have a supply of chicken that we can eat instead of just eating potatoes and stuff. Which is going to be really nice when we actually do some Pam farming and stuff, and we'll get a lot of food going with that. But the farm over here is doing potatoes. It is not doing a very good amount of potatoes. I don't really know what's up with it. So it's a decent sized farm. We basically have a 4x4, so that's 16 plots that are each 25 each. That's about 400 potatoes being grown. So we should be getting a decent drop rate, but it doesn't seem like... It just doesn't seem like the harvester is actually doing what it's supposed to do, because these are grown. These are grown potatoes, and then the harvester runs, and it's got energy. It seems to be in idle mode, which doesn't really make a lot of sense. So I'm trying to figure out what's up with it, and I'm gonna assume there might be something wrong with it, because at least... Oh, the upgrades are missing. Interesting. I may have discovered what's wrong. So I put an upgrade in here. I wonder if somebody ninja'd it when I was AFK. We actually did let more people in the server. I'm gonna probably regret this in the future, because we've got now about another 6 people on here. And let's see... You know what, it might be in that chest over there. So I did craft 2 emerald upgrades, because I did have 7 emeralds to work with. Each of those was 3 each. And there was a chest that was over here. I think I moved it here. Yes, there's an upgrade. So I guess I just forgot to install it. That or somebody's trolling me and took it out and put it back in. So see if this does work. Still an idle. Now let's break a potato here real quick. And replant it back down and see if that triggers an update. Oh, we're getting some motion out of it. So it's running now, so this is gonna make me happy, because I was really concerned this wasn't gonna work. And I really want to get a ton of potatoes out of this so we can power the generators back on the main base. And we'll probably also power the farms off this in the future. Although I did put some solar panels over there, so we had some solar panels right there. They had a couple of those powering this entire area. I was noticing we weren't really keeping up with the power demand, even though 4 panels can do quite a bit. So I put 3 large panels, which should do a lot more power. I've also got laser guns over here now, just for concerns of people walking up and messing with the panels. So these are set to actually kill players. So if we actually go in the settings here, they are set to that, and of course they're set to my friends list, so only people I trust can walk up to the panels. There's also a couple more in the base over here. I won't probably put that many down here, because the whole concept is that we're going to get a grief protection plugin in here, and I won't need the laser guns, because I won't care at that point who walks through the base. It's been implemented though. We're going to more than likely hide the cable, so I'm going to probably dig down and bring it over and bring it back up, so that way it's a little nicer. I do want to keep as much of the terrain looking good as possible for this, as this is meant to be a nice looking area that I'm going to use for farming, where the main base back where we're doing stuff is going to look a little uglier, because that's where we're going to do all of our automation, all of our production and stuff. Where this is just going to be for collecting resources and be a little nice place to where you could AFK and hang out. Because I am putting a pretty decent amount of effort. So we got one, this is going to be the storage house. And so we're going to actually store resources. So this is actually collecting the potatoes here. I'm concerned if this is going to properly store the potatoes or not. Because the real trick is that this is setting it to blue, but when I was using a logical sorter, even when I had it set to blue, I was still ending up with potatoes all the way throughout the system. Even after I turned round robin off. So I turned round robin on originally to make sure that the plot was getting potatoes and this was getting potatoes, but then like all of these pipes were also getting potatoes. I'm assuming I might have to colorize them or something. But this will work for storage. I'm going to probably store a lot of the wool over here, and then we'll store some mob drops over here. Not a huge amount of them. Most of the chests in here are just going to be random storage here. These are mostly decorative. Upstairs doesn't have anything in it. I don't know if I'm really going to put anything up here. Might just put like some decorative stuff up here just to make it look nice. Because there really is not a huge point of storage. One thing that's really, really cool is, look, I got these crafting benches. So these look like crafting benches. They don't actually do anything. You can walk right through them, get down into the lower area. So you've got a lava pit down here. I am actually probably going to keep this lava pit here and actually use it to dispose of items. And this actually goes down in here and connects to the pipe system for the farm. Bit of a nice area. I'm going to probably develop this out really nice to get this to put most of the automated machines down here. So anything we need to automate that for the farming production, like fertilizer production or something, is going to go down here. So it's out of the way. And then that's still storing stuff. So we got carrots right here. These, I'm going to have to make sure these output actually go over in the building here later. So that's kind of what's changed since last episode we were in. For this episode, we're going to work probably on getting the potatoes back to the base. So I haven't figured out the chunk loading problem yet, but we're not going to worry about chunk loading. We'll just manually run a train or something back and forth. So we're going to end up using the actual railcraft rail system. I was going to use the assembly line rail system, but I realized that I haven't actually spent enough time with that to make it functional. So let's go ahead and get back over here, and we'll go through the rail system and kind of see what we need to do with it and figure out where we're going to go from there. We may not get it completely finished in this episode, but we'll at least get it started enough that it'll feel good enough. Definitely need to work on this building more. Is this about the only way in and up of it? Well, I don't know. Because we may end up just leaving this building alone and not really doing anything with it, and just building another way down here. And just leave this as a backup entrance. Always a good idea to have more than one way in and out of your underground networks, so that way you don't get stuck. So let's dig a hole here, because this goes down to where the storage system is. So the storage system does actually go a little bit further down. The plan is to have this come up into below the storage room I just built. So you can see on the mini map on the top right, we are really, really close. So what we'd want to do is actually have it come into this wall over here, and I don't know, drop stuff off at least. I don't know if we need to bring the rails all the way up to the surface though. It would be kind of cool though. But it might take a bit of effort. Like we'll have to do like a Helix design track or something to go up and down. I would say elevator rails would work, but I think they would look really cheesy if we had a train going up with an elevator rail. It's a possibility though. When it comes to chunk loading, even though I haven't figured it out yet, we're still split between two different paths. Me and Grogger have been trying to figure out what we want to do with it. Because he is trying to help me every so often, because he's got nothing better to do on the server. So we'll make this come over here. We're going to have to craft some rails, so I'm going to have to go make an actual rail crafting machine. These are all salvaged rails from the mines. I know there's a ton of them, but I do like the tendency to go through mines and collect stuff. I think I might have crafted some of them before we installed Railcraft, because now that we have Railcraft installed, we're not going to be able to really do much of anything. It does have a bit of a more tedious process. To be honest, this whole episode might just be crafting the rails. We'll see where we get with places. Tons of ores I still gotta collect. Might do something like with this here. I want to maybe put... Well, then again, you're not going to be down here in the storage tunnels. I really want to make a lot of the tunnels decorative and look really nice so that when you're traveling between points, you get to see stuff and it'll look really cool. Because we do have the tunnels above us here. Although I might move the passenger tunnel to a different spot because we're a little too close to the ocean floor. And as cool as it would be to see the ocean out through the glass, Minecraft's not one of those games that it's easy to see through the water without toying around with things. I could fix that a little bit. There are ways I can mess with it. So I'd like to have really cool, vibrant ocean life to look at, but it's really hard to look through glass. I got a bit of work to do on the rails. There's some gold down here. Let me go grab this real quick. I've been burning through gold like crazy crafting mechanism machines, so it's really nice to actually pick some up. Iron, not so much. I mean, iron's being used, so is osmium, but I already have a ton of it. Gold is not something I have an abundance of. Anyways, we're back to where we were at the start of, I believe, the last episode, where I was trying to remove the rails. So we're going to end up having to put the rails back down. And we're just going to use plain rails, because I know we could use high-speed rails and stuff, but I've never had the best of luck with high-speed rails. They've always been something that I usually end up messing up and blowing myself up. Because if you hit a corner too sharply with a high-speed rail, you kind of explode. The advantage of high-speed rails, though, if you have like you're going in a linear path, they're really good. So we've got this, so we're going to need to make a unloading station here. And then we're probably going to want to make a better way to get up and down. You don't want to be having to go up and down a ladder every time we want to toy stuff. And of course, we're going to need to pump the supplies up, which I've already got a tube going for, so we don't have to really mess with that too much. So really what we need to do is get some trains going. So let's figure out what we need for a train. I think they're actually called locomotives. Yeah, there we go. We have... I'm assuming that's a creative mode one. Here's an electric locomotive. I don't know how exactly these work. So I think we're gonna go with a steam one. So it's gonna need some high pressure boilers, some carts, some solid stuff. We're gonna need a fire charge. So we're gonna need, well, good thing is I already have some blaze stuff, so this is gonna be too hard. I was in the nether traveling around. That reminds me. Probably should show off what the other project is we're going to do real quick before we go and craft a few things. So in one of these episodes, what we're going to end up doing is actually figuring out a way to automatically farm withers. Both the skeletons and the big boss thing. Also, another thing I forgot, Grogger dropped me off with a big battery here. Unfortunately, it seems we're out of charge, and that is because I think I left this thing on. So yeah, another thing I completely forgot about. Oh yeah, I think I have a few ores in here. I'm not going to be in trouble for ores for a while. We finally got around to crafting this. I did record this, but the audio broke, so I don't really have that to really mess with. I just went ahead and deleted it rather than thinking about taking clips of it and showing it in the middle of episodes, because it's too much work to edit that. But we ended up finally getting up slime to do this, and Grog brought those imbuing slimes over, and we finally got the resources to build this thing. We basically have figured out I do not have the power to be running this, but I left it running anyways, and well, I think we're out of base power now. That was not bright of me. We'll probably have to hand feed some stuff up here. Oh, this machine looks like it's still running. Sweet. Let me dig this out, and let's put this in here. Please tell me you didn't just send that to like one machine. You know, for this being programmed to have a proper filter, it's not really working. At least it's not working the way I expected it to work. I think it's gonna have the audio inject on. Okay, so we're out of power here, out of power there. Oh well, not too big, much of a worry. So what we are going to do is we're going to go to the nether real quick. So Shadow, when he was last on here playing with us, and we might get him to start playing with us again here, and maybe include him in an episode or two, he was working on automating Wither as well. So he's got his machine down here, and I'm going to go ahead and borrow it is what we're going to do. And we're going to bring down Essus down here and get this thing powered so we can farm skulls, so then we can start farming the big Wither bosses and get nether stars. Because we need nether stars for a few things. So let me go ahead and pull this open. So, 1, beacons. 2, we need antimatter explosives, red matter explosives, of course chunk loaders. And I don't know what this is. Porta spawner? That seems useful, whatever it is. So we have a couple uses for these, and main thing is I want to be able to get some of these chunk loaders so we're not relying on ender pearls to do chunk loading. And of course I want to make a few explosions just for fun. So we need quite a few nether stars for that. So we need to figure out a way to automate those. Let me check to see if there's... Yeah, this is the only recipe we get is to... Yeah, I was just making sure we didn't have some kind of like wither seed. Let me double check. Because we have one of Pam's mods in here. Let me check to see and make sure we don't have anything weird. Cool, we're good. So we're definitely gonna have to do it this way then. But we'll come back to that in another episode. Back into the overworld. Took us like 3 hours, by the way, to find a fortress. We wandered around the nether for quite a while. And pop out the portal. I actually have a mod we're going to end up putting in the mod pack to fix the portal spawn, so we actually don't get thrown in the portal. But here's Shadow's base. Looks like he's got some supplies over here too. I wonder if he's got anything I can borrow. Because he said I can go ahead and use this stuff. He doesn't really have anything. He has some arrows though. I don't know. I wonder what he was doing with those. Tons of arrows. Funny thing is, I'm pretty sure that is actually my portal, though. Because this whole island used to be mine before Doppel over here actually, or Shadow. I'm gonna give his name confused because his username in game is Doppel, and then his actual username in Discord is Shadow. Giant tower. This is all camo blocks, by the way. We were playing a joke on him. Well, he had one of these built over here. And I was like, you know what, we're going to take all of his gold blocks and replace it with camo blocks. And he turned out he removed his gold tower before I got a chance to troll him. Which is really unfortunate, but I still built the tower anyways, because might as well. I think I have a video of that around here somewhere. All the laser guns. Close the base. And let's go work on some machines. I might actually be able to get the steam locomotive going in a relatively short period of time, because this thing, it looks pretty cheap. I was actually more worried this is going to take a while, just simply because some of these items are not the easiest to get your hands on. But I think the steel plates here, we just need a rolling machine for these. It's a pity we can't interchange this with my steel plates. It'd be a little easier to get them. So we need some high pressure boilers, which means we need 2 plates per each of these. So means we need 8 plates. And it looks like we're going to need 14 bricks, some fire charges, and some cards. So a whole bunch of iron is what I'm just going to go with. And then we need some clay. So grab this. I'm going to make a whole bunch of bricks because I plan to probably use some here later for the reactor. And then we need iron. We're also going to need some blaze rods. I think I threw the blaze rods. Here's one. Yeah, here we go. And then what else do we need? So we're going to need to make a rolling machine. If I remember correctly, I think this is only a single block, so it's shouldn't be too hard to deal with. And this is pistons, some redstone. So while we're using cobblestone. Some redstone. I think I'm with it. So we need 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I need to go mining for more of that. Also need to eat some food before I starve. Let's go ahead and put that gold down the chest down below. And we'll go ahead and craft this and hook this up. Hopefully I don't need to build any other machines to go with this. Okay, we'll go and put the clay in here, put the gold over here, so we start harvesting the gold. I still have a decent amount of gold ingots left, so we're still good on that. I need some wood. I don't have it down here. There we go, wood. I need to really work on the bin sorting system. I think I might build a bigger room for the sorting, because there's a lot of items we need sorted, and I think it'll just be good to get a nice sorting room going. Okay, so I'm gonna need 4, so 12 planks. So I get my pistons, and then we get the iron, and we just need one. There we go. Hopefully I can just stick this right here. Cool. It doesn't have a recipe input. Now we gotta figure out how to get steel. Well, the easiest way, I think I could just come over here. And I think we can just insert this here. If I remember how this works, I think it's... Yeah, that's pretty much the recipe. So we needed... Yeah, we needed a batch of this. So we'll get that, and I'm going to go ahead and stick the steel back in here so I don't misplace it. I'm going to pop another set of this out, and I'm going to queue up more steel to be made. There's quite a few recipes that need this, so I might as well make sure we have a supply of it. Okay, now we got to go make the next step. So we got the bricks cooking already. It's a fire charge. We need gunpowder, charcoal, and blaze rods. So I'm going to need to get some gunpowder and charcoal. And we only need 2 of these, so 1, 2, 1, 2. And then do that. Oh cool, that's a nice recipe. Gives you exactly what you need to make 2 of them. It looks like one batch makes enough that we need, so it looks like I didn't actually need to make that many. Oh well, let's go ahead and put some of this stuff back. Okay, so that'll give me the solid brick furnace. We're going to need some actual vanilla furnaces. Got 2 of those. Some carts, which we need more iron for, which we need to go fetch again. The thing is, we're still going to need a way to get resource into this, but I'm going to manually feed it just so we get it running, and then I'll build a station for it. So we need... I'll just grab the stack. It'll be quicker, rather than counting. Okay, so that should get us 2 of those, and we need some iron bars, which I think is... This it? Yep, this is it. And that should give us everything. Okay, we've got that. Get our 4 boiler tanks. And then we're just going to need the bricks, which should be currently queuing up. And we'll just grab what we got in here. Not too bad of a recipe. A bit tedious in my opinion. But then again, I just like crafting in general. It's usually why we'll end up actually building an automated system at some given point in time. Fighting logistics is literally the way to go. Okay, so that gets us that. And do we need anything else for this to run? We probably going to want to craft a few more cards. Yeah, we'll craft 4 carts. And we'll craft some chests as well. I think that'll cover for the most part. Let me go ahead and ditch the bricks and iron. And that should work. We should be able to go get this started, and I think we're going to need some buckets of water, and we're going to need some fuel. So So let me grab some charcoal. That should get us at least started. And then I'm going to dish the rest of this stuff in the chest here. Put my configurator back up on the wall. I've actually built like 5 more of these just because I keep misplacing them. So I'm probably going to find a few more in the chest here. Some buckets. Probably could actually use wooden buckets for this too, so I'm going to actually grab a few wooden buckets. What's the recipe for this? I actually forgot my own recipe for my own buckets. I think I need to put like a piece of cacti in the middle. Oh yeah, cacti and a stick. So I do not think we have... Oh, we're actually not going to be able to craft that. I think in the later versions of Minecraft I actually did change that recipe to be a little more accessible. Adding things like slime balls is a way to do it, and using things like vines as well. Because the idea is you're using some kind of binder to fill up the cracks between the wood, and then to water seal the wood, so that way it doesn't leak water. Okay, so we got the carts. What else do we need? Oh yeah, water. So I think the thing is pretty water hungry. Yeah, we should have water right here around the corner. There we go. And that should get us started. Then we're just going to end up inevitably having to probably craft more rails, which we'll do in the next episode, and get a station going, get a loader unloader, so that way we can then automate the train. And then I'll probably just build a world anchor. That'll be the easiest way to do this, and I'll go figure out some way to farm ender pearls until I can get enough resources to build an energy-based chunk loading system, or to mod my own stuff in. Because the thought process is I might actually do some other stuff here. I'm going to leave these carts here. Let me go ahead and push these out of the way. Get our locomotive going. I was actually told by Grogger there is a problem with these locomotives, and I need a rail thing to actually flip this around, and I think I ditched my wrench somewhere else. So we're going to have to make it. Crowbar. So that's a reinforced one, that's a normal one. Reinforced one is just made of steel, so we're going to build a reinforced one, and we just need some dye. Make sure I didn't stick it in here. Yeah, it's not there. There's a chest card in here, though. I'll grab that. Leave the normal carts in there, though, because I still need to be able to get back and forth, passenger-wise. Although I need to bring a few of the carts back over from the other side, over here, because I keep going over there and I keep walking back, so we have like this abundance of carts on one side. That's a battery looking. We are not keeping up with energy demand right now. I'm pretty sure this thing is off. Yeah, it's not running. Cool. Yeah, I shouldn't have left that on as long as I did. It's empty too. Yeah, energy's gonna be a problem. The interesting thing, it did actually run for a decent amount of time. So I need steel. 1, 2, 3, and we're going to need red dye. Probably some in here. Got some gems in here. I might add some alternative recipes for this just because I don't usually have flowers hanging around. At least not in a quantity to really use them for crafting. See laser guns going off and killing the zombies. A whole bunch of resources up here that I need to really drag downstairs. Including some machines that I really probably should be using. Let me get some rails. Grab these. I'm literally seeing an example of like the first base I built, and I almost never come back up here. Oh, how are we gonna get flowers? I don't really have any. I must have used the last I had to go across them. Like, so what do we... are we getting bones? We do have bones. There's some yellow flowers. Pink flowers. purple. Another pink flower. Oh, a red one. How many does this give us? That gives us 1. Wow. This is going to be a little tedious. But yeah, the bug I was talking about earlier, though, is Grogger is setting up his own train network because he likes to play with trains a lot. I'm surprised we don't actually have some nicer mods on the server to really work with. Oh, hello, little zombie. I probably should have a laser gun at the side of the wall. So let's get rid of this and put some flowers in there. Tons of flower types. You know, just because I really need to not be shot at. Don't even know if the audio effects even work on that. You'll know a very short amount of time if you hear like a very loud amounts of bangs going off at the same time. More yellow flowers. This is an example of something I really want to automate at some point, because dyes are useful. Okay, here's another red flower. We need 4 of these too. This is going to be a pain. Another flower. Go dump flowers we're not using. Ah, there we go. One more. The RNG must be like really messed up for this. Yes. My brute force attempt worked. We now have our resources. Let's stitch the rest of the flowers in here, and we'll put the bone mill in here as well. That way we can come back and do this later if we ever need to. But I think I will actually automate that, because what I could do is I could just set up a really simple dispenser system and a few hoppers, and that should work. You know, I'm going to realize I'm going to open one of these chests and there's going to be flowers in it. Okay, there's not. That'd have been really tragic if there was. It'd be like, oh, all that time. Here we go. We got our wrench, our crowbar, and theoretically, if there's not a bug in this, it should flip it around. If there is a bug while we're boned. Not a lot I can do about it because we're running on an older version of Minecraft, and on top of that, Covert really doesn't do much anymore. Although I think I could pull request a fix. I don't know if he'll release a version though. Always worth a try. If not, I get Dima to prod him. Okay, please turn around. Turn around. Turn around. Yes! Success. Okay, of course we want our cart there. And then we're going to want at least 1 storage cart. And we'll add more storage carts when we get going. Because the whole entire goal is to just get this thing functioning. Here we go, got our water. I think we can set a route with this. So we can have like a multi-system for the trains to go places, which we might explore later, but at the moment, so get this running. And just kind of wait for it to warm up. So this is gonna have to do it to boil thing to run. Go ahead and store our extra carts and stuff in here. So we're going to want to be able to make a system to automatically put water in this, because I remember correctly this thing does go through water pretty quickly. It's going through fuel pretty fast too. So this should actually run. Hold on, let's set the button for third person. There we go. Get a nice view going. Hopefully we don't run into the bug, because the bug, as Grogger said, when you round corners, the train likes to flip. And by flip, it'll turn around. You couldn't figure out why it was doing it. So let's just hope it's something that he's having a problem with that isn't actually a major issue with the mod itself, or I may have to go program a train later. Cool thing is I know a developer that actually would help me out with this. Henneman actually has been wanting to make a train mod for a while now. We were talking about doing two mods actually. So a train mod that actually would do a whole bunch of really cool train stuff. So something that wouldn't compete with Railcraft but would offer a lot of stuff that people didn't normally think about when you wanted to mess with trains. And then of course we'd make similar content as Railcraft as well, ignoring all of its machines, just focusing on the rail system itself. And I really wanted to do some larger trains with it as well. That'd be a little tricky to make it work properly. And then the other mod we were planning was doing an underwater mod. So a mod focusing on doing, what's the name of it? Bioshock style of cities and stuff. And derail. Oh, the train works at least. Unfortunately, I accidentally derailed it. So let's have it idle, and let's see if we can push it back on the track. Come on, come back on the track. Oh, got it on the track. Go ahead and have it shut down. And let me put a block here so this will stop. I think there's a rail stopper I can build. But yeah, so Bioshock style cities. I don't know if that one's going to actually go anywhere though, just simply because we need a lot of design work for that one, but it's pretty much going to be a decorative mod. We're not going to add content from Bioshock, because we can do another mod for content from Bioshock. But the concept was I was really looking into wanting to build underwater cities and stuff. Anyways, we got this running, so now what we just got to do is in the next episode, or eventually some episode, we don't know if I'll do this next episode, build a station here so we can get the train to turn back around and go back down the network, and automate its movement, and automate its fueling, and everything else, and we'll get the potatoes back to the base and get it powered. Now for those who probably ask why we're going through all this trouble of moving all the potatoes to the base rather than building a farm in the base, I really want to force myself into building individual bases that serve a single purpose and then ferrying supplies everywhere. And the other concept will be is we have a single farm where we're farming stuff, and then say for example we wanted to build another base really far north for mining and we wanted to funnel one ore back and then fuel to it, we can then do that reliably. Or if we want to come over here and build maybe like a missile silo, or if we wanted to come down here and build like a naval base or something, just for the fun of it, like no real reason why we're doing any of this. But we'd want to be able to funnel resources back and forth, and what we could have this train do is do similar to how Factorio works, is we can have this train drop off supplies, so drop off fuel, and then pick up resources that need to go back to the main base, and then we'll have a distribution sorting system here. So what we'll have is like a single train come over here, dump all supplies, and then train go there, train go down here, train go down there. Maybe we have a couple people's houses we want to drop off supplies for in exchange for like goods, so they give us gold in exchange for resources or something. That's something we do. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next episode.